When we look at the sky energies for these intensely packed weeks of March 16th to the 29th, 2026, my honeys, the universe is just giving us a massive
Oh,
shakeup.
oh, absolutely. It really is.
I am just buzzing today because we have a mountain of astrological forecasts to unpack. And, Geminis are incredibly impatient, so I'm just getting straight to the point.
I love that. So typical.
Right. Today is an exclusive, highly tailored Gemini review. We are zeroing in on exactly what these wild cosmic shifts mean for the smartest, most talkative, and frankly, like the most fun sign in the zodiac.
We absolutely are. And I just love that you are already vibrating at that classic Gemini frequency. It's so great.
I can't help it.
Well, let's bring a little warm wisdom to all that crackling energy. My dear Geminis, if you've been sitting there lately feeling like your brilliant minds are stuck in a swamp or you're just unusually drained by the people around you, take a deep, cleansing breath.
Yes, please breathe, my dears.
Because the sources we've analyzed, which range from these highly detailed Turkish astrological texts to international forecasters, they all point to a genuinely historic cosmic weather pattern right now.
Historic is a big word, but it fits.
It does. We are moving out of a period of deep, almost paralyzing confusion and accelerating straight into an era of massive structural shifts.
Which, let's be honest, sounds like waking up from a really long, groggy nap, only to have the universe hand you a megaphone and tell you to sprint a marathon.
That is the perfect way to describe it. It's a lot.
It is a lot to handle. But my nice-hearted listeners, there is a cosmic explanation for all of it, and more importantly, a beautiful roadmap for you.
Yeah.
We just have to decode it together.
So true. The astrology of this specific 2-week window is basically about providing a framework. It helps us understand the immense pressures we're all feeling so we can actually, use them constructively.
Instead of just letting them run us over.
Exactly, instead of just letting them happen to us.
Yeah. Well, I want to start with the good news because we definitely need a little sunshine before we talk about the heavy lifting.
Oh, for sure. We need that Gemini optimism.
Always. So, the forecasters are all predicting immediate relief from that dreaded retrograde slump. Jupiter, the giant planet of expansion and luck, has been retrograde since last November.
Finally.
I know. The text described this as causing our financial lives and our personal growth to feel like this really frustrating dance of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, but the cosmic fog is finally lifted. Well, mostly.
Uh-oh. I caught that mostly.
I knew you would.
We will get to the catch in a second. But first, Jupiter is finally moving direct. And even better, it's forming a harmonious trine with Mars, specifically in water signs.
Yes.
The forecasters are literally calling this a reign of abundance and a period of serendipitous support. But let's break that down for our listeners who might not be huge astrology nerds like us.
Right.
What exactly is a trine, and why should a Gemini care about water signs right now?
I love explaining this because it's just pure cosmic geometry. So a trine is when two planets are about 120 degrees apart in the sky. Think of it as a perfect frictionless angle.
So no bumping heads.
Exactly. When planets square off, they clash. But in a trine, they are holding hands singing the same song. The energy just flows without any roadblocks.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
It is. And water signs represent intuition, deep emotion, and unseen currents. Mars is our drive, our action pedal, and Jupiter is our luck and expansion.
So the action pedal is effortlessly linking up with the luck planet, but in the realm of gut feelings.
You nailed it. For my highly logical, overthinking Geminis out there, this is a massive cue from the universe. Trusting your gut is highly favored right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's less about aggressive, analytical pushing and more about serendipity. It's about doors flying open simply because you intuitively decided to walk down a different hallway. Allow yourselves to feel the flow instead of just overthinking it.
Oh my God, can you look at the chances of the Gemini this month? It will completely make you smile.
Isn't it great?
It's amazing. But I haven't forgotten your mostly comment earlier. Let's talk about the ruler of Gemini, which is Mercury. The texts say Mercury is also going direct right around March 22nd. Yes, it is. Now, my brilliant friend, help me out here. If Mercury, the planet of communication and travel, is finally moving forward again, why are all of these expert sources explicitly warning us to double-check our train tickets and emails this week?
It feels like a total contradiction, doesn't it?
It totally does. Like, there's this one very vivid anecdote from the Turkish forecast that had me laughing out loud.
Oh, the train ticket story.
Yes. A traveler accidentally bought a high-speed train ticket from Eskişehir to Istanbul instead of the other way around, Istanbul to Eskişehir.
Hmm.
They book their entire journey in reverse.
That is just classic Mercury shadow energy.
Right, so if the retrograde is technically ending, why is the advice still, proceed with extreme caution?
Well, this is such a crucial piece of planetary mechanics. When a planet like Mercury stops moving backward to start moving forward, it doesn't just instantly flip a switch and zoom off.
It needs time to warm up.
Exactly. It goes through what astrologers call a shadow period, or as the Turkish sources beautifully term it, the Dirac phase. Dirac translates to the stationary phase, like a bus stop.
Oh, so it's literally standing completely still in the sky from our perspective.
Yes. And counterintuitively, when a planet stops dead to change direction, its energy is actually at its most concentrated and chaotic.
Really? Why is that?
Think about driving a manual car. When you shift from reverse into drive, there's that moment of hesitation, that grinding of the gears where you have zero forward momentum, but you are generating all this intense mechanical friction.
That makes so much sense. The cosmic gears are grinding, which means the literal gears of our lives kind of grind to a halt.
Exactly that. The sources explicitly warn that during this Dirac phase, we should expect telecom glitches, online banking errors, and strangely enough, even physical mechanical malfunctions.
Wait, like physical machines?
Yeah. They specifically mention elevators and escalators breaking down. It's the universe experiencing a brief, intense moment of total gridlock.
Oh my goodness. So my sweet Geminis, listen to me closely. You are ruled by Mercury, which means you feel this friction deep in your bones. This is a major warning.
Absolutely.
Do not rush into signing those big contracts or traveling without a solid backup plan just yet. Just because the retrograde label is officially coming off the calendar doesn't mean the coast is clear.
Not at all.
Use this specific week to observe, to double-check those reservations, and please hold off on launching any massive new projects.
It is absolutely a time for preparation, not for launch. Rest your minds, my dears.
And we really need that rest because once that communication fog of Mercury finally lifts, we are going to clearly see a massive roadblock or maybe a building block sitting right in our path.
Oh, the big one.
Yes, we are transitioning out of the minor, annoying conveniences of Mercury and walking straight into the heavy structural shifts of the Sun and Saturn.
This is arguably the most significant transit we're looking at in this entire window. We have a Sun-Saturn conjunction happening in the fiery sign of Aries.
And the sources are making a massive deal out of this. They note that this specific planetary alignment, the Sun and Saturn meeting in Aries, hasn't happened in about 28 to 30 years.
It's been a long time.
Right. They trace the last occurrence all the way back to 1997. And the language they use is incredibly intense. They say the Sun is essentially being burned by Saturn.
Well, let's break down the characters in this cosmic drama to understand why it's so intense. The Sun represents your core vitality, your ego, the pure conscious will to exist.
Okay.
And Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac. It represents initiation, fire, the raw impulse to act and conquer. It's pure, unbridled forward motion.
I picture Aries energy like a brilliant red sports car with a brick on the gas pedal and absolutely no brakes.
What a fantastic image. Now introduce Saturn into that exact same space. Saturn is the planet of rules, boundaries, time, karma, and consequences.
Oh boy, the fun police.
Pretty much. It is cold, restrictive, and demands absolute structure. So you literally have the unstoppable force of the Sun in Aries slamming into the immovable object of Saturn.
In my head, I'm comparing this cosmic event to a strict, no-nonsense headmaster, that's Saturn, stepping onto a completely chaotic, wild playground full of screaming kids, which is Aries.
That is so accurate.
All the fun and impulse instantly freezes. Playtime is officially over.
The whistle blows and everyone has to line up. And on a macro level, the sources predict this clash will cause intense pressure globally.
Really? How so?
Well, they forecast immense stress on authority figures, politicians, and state leaders. The sources bring up the potential for major power struggles, hidden documents coming to light, and constitutional or systemic shifts.
Let me just pause this for a second to offer a quick reminder to our listeners. When these astrological texts get into political or constitutional predictions, we are completely neutral observers.
Oh, absolutely.
We aren't endorsing any of these political shifts. We're just unpacking the fascinating data points these forecasters are looking at. And those data points also include specific warnings about tectonic movements and earthquakes affecting certain regions.
Right. They specifically mention places like Istanbul, Izmit, Bursa, and Malatya.
Exactly. A very important distinction to make. We are simply reporting the cosmic weather forecast as it was written.
Yes. And the underlying astrological logic here is that Saturn demands that any weak foundations be exposed and rebuilt. Whether that's a political constitution, a corporate hierarchy, or the literal tectonic plates of the Earth, Saturn in fiery Aries applies relentless pressure until the structural flaws are revealed.
It's the ultimate stress test. But let's bring this back to our beloved Geminis. How does this geopolitical macro-level energy actually trickle down into their daily lives?
Hmm.
Because thankfully, most of our nice-hearted listeners aren't state leaders dealing with constitutional crises.
No, they aren't. But my honeys, you all have your own personal structures and authorities. In your daily life, this might manifest as a sudden, undeniable reality check regarding your long-term goals or your responsibilities.
Oh, that makes sense.
Saturn asks a very pointed question. It asks, are you actually building something sustainable, or are you just rushing forward on impulse because you got bored? If your foundations are shaky, Saturn will make sure you feel that instability right now.
Which flows perfectly into the next major theme from our research. Because these external pressures of Saturn don't just happen around us, they trigger incredibly deep internal transformations within us.
The macro always mirrors the micro.
So true. The forecasts highlight a historically rare link happening concurrently with all of this. This Sun-Saturn duo in Aries is connecting with Pluto, the planet of power and profound transformation.
That is a heavy hitter.
Right. And all of this coincides with a highly emotional quarter moon in Cancer. Now, initially reading this part of the research, I thought, wow, this sounds incredibly heavy. It sounds exhausting. Is this just a week of cosmic doom and gloom?
It does sound like a lot at first glance.
But then I looked at what it specifically means for Gemini, and my mind was completely blown.
I love watching you connect those dots. It is crucial not to view this as simply doom and gloom. Astrology is all about cycles of growth. Pluto doesn't just destroy for fun. It demands absolute authenticity.
It burns away what is false.
Exactly. And Saturn, as we discussed, demands structure and effort. The cosmic promise here is that if you put in the grueling work, the rewards aren't just a temporary high, they are permanent structural upgrades to your life.
Okay, permanent upgrades. I love that. For Gemini specifically, the sources say this intense energy is causing a massive awakening in their 11th house.
Oh, the 11th house. That's huge for them.
Now, for our listeners who might not know, what exactly is the 11th house and why is this awakening so important?
Let's give a quick astrology lesson.
Yeah.
The sky is divided into 12 houses, kind of like slices of a pie, and each slice represents a specific area of your daily life. The 11th house is the realm of your social circles, your networks, your friendships, and your long-term hopes and dreams. It's your community.
And Geminis are the ultimate social butterflies of the zodiac. They know absolutely everyone.
They do. They collect people. But having a massive contact list doesn't mean everyone on it is truly your friend.
Ouch, but true.
The texts say this Pluto-Saturn energy is prompting Geminis to completely restructure their social circles. It's a massive social house cleaning.
I see it now. Pluto reveals the hidden rot, like it exposes the superficiality or one-sided nature of those connections, and then Saturn steps in and provides the boundary-setting discipline to actually cut them off.
Yes, precisely. For my dear Geminis listening, the core takeaway is to really look at your friend group and your networks. Consider where you are contorting yourself just to keep the peace.
Where are you forcing yourself to fit into a mold that fundamentally no longer serves you?
Right. If someone is draining your brilliant energy, the cosmos is giving you the strength to prune that branch.
It takes the heat of the sun, the pressure of Saturn, and the transformative power of Pluto to forge a diamond. That is the beautiful opportunity hidden in this heavy week. You're refining your social circle down to the absolute gems.
That is perfectly said. And after all that structural demolition and social pruning, we are left with the emotional aftermath. We move from these macro structural changes to intimate relational healing.
Which brings us to the most delicate and honestly the most fascinating part of this entire 2-week forecast. Our sources highlight that Venus, the planet of relationships, values, and what we find beautiful, is connecting with Chiron in Aries.
Chiron is such a profound celestial body. In astrology, it is known as the wounded healer.
I just love the mythology behind this. For our listeners, Chiron was a centaur who was a master healer. He was capable of curing absolutely anyone of anything, but he suffered from an agonizing wound on his own body that he could never heal.
Such a poignant story.
It really is.
Yeah.
So astrologically, wherever Chiron is transiting in the sky, it touches on our deepest insecurities, our old hurts, and those nagging feelings of inadequacy.
That's a beautiful summary. So you have Venus, the planet of love and harmony, holding hands with Chiron, the planet of open, tender wounds.
That sounds like an absolute recipe for sending a really painful late-night text message to an ex.
Oh, the temptation will certainly be there, I can guarantee that.
Don't do it, Gemini.
Right, put the phone down. But what's vital to understand, my honeys, is that this transit isn't about the universe maliciously opening new wounds just to torture you. It's about finally providing the perfect atmospheric conditions to treat the old ones.
Oh, I like that.
The texts note that past relationship hurts, unacknowledged efforts at work, and old betrayals might suddenly resurface in your mind this week, but they are surfacing strictly for the purpose of closure.
The sources gave some incredibly specific, practical advice for Geminis on this front. They advised Geminis to really look at their intimate relationships this week and ask themselves a hard question.
What's the question?
Are you actually celebrating what you have in common with your partner, or are you just obsessively focusing on your disagreements?
Wow. That is classic Chiron energy manifesting in a relationship context. When Chiron is active, we tend to fixate on the flaw, the wound, the one thing that isn't working, instead of appreciating the holistic health of the bond.
And Geminis are so quick-witted and analytical, it's so easy for them to spot the one puzzle piece that doesn't fit and obsess over it.
So true.
Reading through this part of the analysis, it sparked an image for me. This entire Venus-Chiron transit feels exactly like doing physical therapy on an old sports injury.
Wait, I love where you're going with this. Expand on that.
Well, say you tore your shoulder years ago.
Oh.
It healed, but it healed tight, packed with a bunch of stiff scar tissue. You've just been living with limited mobility, thinking, well, this is just how my shoulder is now.
Right, you just accept the limitation.
Exactly. But when you finally decide to go to physical therapy, the therapist has to dig their thumbs right into that old scar tissue.
And it hurts. It makes you wince.
It hurts so much. It feels like you're getting re-injured. But breaking down that old stiff tissue is the absolute only way you will ever regain your full range of motion.
That is a brilliant analogy. And that is exactly what Venus meeting Chiron in Aries is doing to our hearts. Aries is a physical, forward-moving sign. It wants full range of motion in life and love.
But Venus is hitting that pocket of emotional scar tissue.
Yes, it will ache this week, my dears. You might feel a sudden, sharp pang of rejection from something a friend or partner did 5 years ago, but you are feeling it so you can finally stretch past it.
So for you, my beautiful Gemini listeners, we really encourage you to use this week's incredibly potent energy to clear the air. Because you are ruled by Mercury, your healing comes through communication.
Absolutely. Talk it out.
It's the perfect time to have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding because you didn't want to rock the boat. It's a time to actively accept an apology or maybe forgive someone who never even offered one, just for your own peace of mind.
Yes. Or it's the time to establish a firm boundary that permanently protects your peace. Don't run from the discomfort of the stretch. The emotional mobility you gain on the other side of this week is worth every second of the ache.
Okay, we have covered a massive amount of cosmic terrain today for our favorite twins. Let's do a quick recap.
Let's do it.
We started with the fantastic news of Jupiter moving direct, bringing that serendipitous rain of abundance, but with the massive caveat that we must survive the clumsy, chaotic Durac phase of Mercury. So double-check those train tickets and emails, folks.
Then we examine the heavy 30-year cycle of the Sun meeting Saturn in Aries, that unstoppable force meeting the immovable object, demanding that we build entirely new, structurally sound life foundations.
And for our Geminis, this means a rigorous, empowering house cleaning of your 11th house social circles, pruning the dead branches.
Exactly. And finally, we just talked about doing the brave emotional physical therapy required by Venus and Chiron. It is a week of breaking down, building up, and profound healing by focusing on the joys we share rather than the flaws we find.
It really is a breathtaking sequence of events.
It is. And looking at this entire sequence, it leaves me with one final thought for every Gemini listening to mull over today.
Oh, weigh your wisdom on us.
Well, we've seen that Saturn brings the unavoidable consequences of our past actions. It forces us to look at the structures and friendships we've built.
All right.
And we've seen that Chiron offers the universe's ultimate chance to heal the emotional wounds tied to those structures. So, my honeys, if the cosmos is giving you the tools for both total demolition and deep healing, what old, tired pattern in your life are you finally ready to retire this week?
Wow. What a question to leave on. What old, tired pattern are you ready to retire? Because remember, while the stars might suggest the cosmic weather, you are always the one steering the ship.
So true.
Next week, my dear Geminis, Big surprises are waiting for you. In order not to miss it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel called What Do Stars Say? And if you liked our horoscope interpretation of this 2-week window, don't forget to like it.
And please don't be shy to share your comments with us down below. We love reading them, sending you all plenty of positive energy.
Shake off the grogginess, pick up your megaphone, and take that first step of the marathon. We'll catch you next time.